folks, I'm here alongside Jay Parker again, in person, in the flesh, still here somehow after all the satanic, ritualistic abuse. How to keep your spirits strong, Jay? I mean, Jay has been through a lot. If you haven't heard his story, well, it's a tough one to hear, but a very important one to get out.
Well, if you want to know my personal story, I have a few things on YouTube from the Free Your Mind conference. Some more is coming out soon. And also, I have 2 interviews on the website whatonearthishappening.com, Mark Passio's website.
The first of which you were anonymous, right?
Yes, that was in 2010.
And I first heard you on there, and I said, this is amazing. And not amazing in a good way. This is amazing that this kind of story is finally getting out, and it really backed a lot of my thinking that I was becoming more and more aware of just how the satanic ritualistic abuse occurs within the families of these people. You know, that's the most startling thing, is because you would think it's family, they're not going to do this amongst themselves, but no, that's not the case.
When you're in a generational satanic family, you're mind controlled and you're programmed, and your life is taken away from you by the cult and by the archonic spiritual forces behind this. But all I can say is you can heal from this. I am appealing to the rank and file secondary psychopaths that are in the Illuminati, that they've been thrown under the bus along with the mass of humanity. They're scheduled for extermination by the elite. There's nothing in this for you. You've been betrayed.
You're a pawn.
You're basically being used, and now you're being thrown away.
And that's exactly how they operate. They don't care. They'll eat their own, easily.
Absolutely.
They do this to their children, for crying out loud.
Well, what the cult does is they find out if you have several children, they'll screen the children for what jobs and what functions in the Illuminati system we live under they'd be suited for. And occasionally you have to take a child and just use them as a burnt offering to Molech. You know, for all the goodness of Molech, surely you can give up one child and totally destroy them.
So the entity that we know as Moloch, it is real. It is a major part of their religion, for lack of a better term. Is this correct?
Yes, absolutely. What it is actually is the archonic Demiurge. It basically is an inorganic spirit of total malevolence and hate for the human race. The goddess Sophia and the Demiurge are having a war, and the human race is in between it. There's only one religious or spiritual entity I ever heard my father, in growing up, state that he was afraid of, and that was Kali, the goddess. He said to my mother one day, don't get into studying the Dakini of the moon. The goddess Kali will kill us.
Is the Illuminati or these bloodlines, are they a matriarchy or a patriarchy?
No, it's absolutely a patriarchy. Although there's that whole Lilith energy in the females of the Illuminati, and some of them are quite powerful, and the men obey them. But generally speaking, it's a patriarchal system, but there are some women very high up.
Having experienced all of this trauma and torture firsthand, Jay has gotten out of that paradigm of being simply a victim, and he seeks powerful solutions and offers many powerful solutions with his most recent work. And as much as he blows the whistle on a regular basis and shines the light in the darkness, and it's tough because when you shine that light on that dark room that you haven't seen in a while, you see all the dirt, you see all of the mess that has been hidden, occulted in that room. But Jay focuses on things like organite, like the pennant on his neck there, and all sorts of energy healing and other solutions.
We
right?
live in an energetic matrix of 52 waveforms, and the manipulation of the energy is what the Illuminati Satanists do. That's why they rape and abuse innocent young children, because they're young and they're closer to the event horizon of being born. And they like to situate communities of Illuminati pedophiles close to the ley lines of the Earth energy grid. And then when there are, my estimation, probably hundreds of Illuminati pedophile towns and villages and developments. And so on a ritual night, they're all pouring all this child trauma, terror into the Earth energy grid. And most people have no idea what's going on, but with people like Kathy O'Brien and Mark Phillips and people from ritualabuse.us, more and more victims are getting their stories out.
Fritz Springmeier also documented many of these cases, and just doing radio shows with folks like yourself. When I had Kathy O'Brien on, we were receiving calls from many victims, and that was, for me, one of the most shocking aspects of doing this is in bringing out your story and bringing out Kathy O'Brien's story, we are seeing that there are many out there that are also suffering from similar fates.
My mother told me back in 1963 that essentially, well, she claimed that 12% of the American population was old religion, which is code, of course,
Sure.
for the Marquis of Hell cult, for the Molech cult, whatever dark Demiurge system you want to use. All I have to say to the rank and file Illuminati is you need to look at my work and the books and the materials that I'm telling you to study and take your life back. You've been thrown under the bus. There's nothing in this for you. If you have probably less than, I'd say 1,000 billion, you're not going to go down into the underground cities when they open up the biochemical can of whoop ass, which they're getting ready to do. And also, one has to ask themselves with the chemtrails and the spraying of the aluminum, what would happen since we're all saturated with aluminum, barium, and strontium from the chemtrail spraying? What will happen when these cell towers that are operating at 10 to 15% capacity are turned up to full power? Will it have a physiological effect on humanity? And all I have to say, if you're poisoned with aluminum, which is a great carrier of electromagnetic energy, and somebody hits you with a high dose of microwaves, one has to wonder whether you're going to be like a fork in the microwave.
It's not just in the geoengineering that we find the aluminum. It's in our deodorant, it's in our food, it's in the vaccines. It's everywhere, and it's really important we try to avoid as much of this as possible. Jay, your final appeal, I guess is the word I was looking for, to those out there that are amongst the dark occult that will be dropped like a bad habit when shit hits the fan, when the moment is right.
Well, it's coming very soon. The crash, the economic crash of '29, of course, was mainly caused by the derivatives market, and also the Rockefellers and Kennedys and certain other big players like the Morgans pulling out of the markets and demanding their margin call money. And so they precipitated the collapse. Now, they did the collapse of '08 to slowly bring the American people down to a level of impoverishment and powerlessness so that they can move the agenda forward. What's happening right now, we have a quadrillion in derivatives now that the Glass-Steagall Act has been taken away in 1999 by the Clinton administration. So you've got a quadrillion worth of debt hanging on this system. Fortunately, the people that have money and are invested in this system, their belief is holding the system up. But at any time, when the Council of 13 or the Committee of 300 decides it's time to hammer down the 96% of the human race, they're going to pull the plug, and you're going to see an economic collapse worldwide that is going to literally take your head right off. And so what I'm saying to anybody right now is look at the materials I recommend you read and start to get aware and start becoming a human being, because this war of light and dark is going to reach a climax real soon in the next few years, probably. And if you're not prepared, you're going to really regret it.
Get prepared, folks, and I really appreciate you, Jay, for all that you do. Thanks so much. Again, we're at the Free Your Mind Conference, having discussions with many of the speakers that have presented thus far. Jay's talk will be available at some point on the website, and I hope you do check out his material and his hard-to-hear story, but yet very important.
Oh, can I add just one more thing?
It's all yours.
I just wanted to say, if you go to whatonearthishappening.com,
Mark Passio's website,
Mark
of course.
Passio's website, I have 2 interviews. They are number 17, which I did under the name Neo,
Neo, right.
and number 100. And you'll get a better picture of what I've experienced. And all I have to say is there are many Illuminati trauma victims coming out now and putting their stories on the web. The end is near for the Illuminati. Your corruption has made more victims than winners in this system. And now you're going to learn what Ron Paul tried to teach you about blowback.